Get Into Geek. This is episode 150. We are talking Stargate SG-1. The full Get Into Geek team is here. My name is Mitch. Joining me, Matty.
Yow.
Brendan.
Hello.
And Rhys.
G'day, guys.
If after 150 episodes you're joining us for the first time, Rhys is watching Stargate SG-1 each and every week, one episode for the very first time. The rest of us sitting in here, we're long-term fans of the show. We're going through it all together and seeing what Stargate's like. And for the second time, we can say, in 2020, guys, talking Stargate. And this one, we teased last week, it was called Resurrection because it was going to be the return of Janet Fraser. Not to be.
That's the best tease ever.
Yeah, wasn't it? And what an anticlimactic finish that would have been for Heroes. But here we are talking Resurrection. We're going to get into the old synopsis of the episode and see what it says about the show, then throw it over to Rhys, our first-timer, and see what he thought. SG-1 is sent to investigate the murder of a group of rogue N.I.D. scientists. While piecing together the events of the crime, they discover that the results of the scientists' experiments may have combined DNA to create the ultimate evil, a human being that possesses the conscience of a Goa'uld. Written by Shanks, directed by Amanda Tapping, guys, the most Stargate-y episode of all Stargate.
Well, you don't see a Stargate.
This is true.
But I digress. Rhys?
Classic.
Well, this will be in my bottom section for sure. No, look, I mean, I liked watching it. It was fun, but the setup of it it fell flat with me. Where the hell did this come from?
Shanksy's brain.
Just all these N.I.D. agents, this hybrid artificial harcesis, and then I'm guessing we never see it again.
No.
Correct. And the thing is, it was in Shanksy's contract to come back. I want to write. I want to be a writer and a thespian. And Amanda's like, and I want to direct. They're like, all right, you two can do this.
Yeah.
Here you
and
go.
we'll just...
and the funny part
we'll do Lost City.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is they did Lost City. Rick went on holidays, and then everyone stayed back to do this episode. They actually shot this last. That's why Rick's not there. And they use his injury from Heroes in the plot.
Recovering.
Yeah, but Rick's just like, I'm out. I'm outie 5,000, bye.
Yeah. I'm going home, Morty.
Daniel, you can keep this episode and you can shove it.
We'll put that in your credits, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll go over it in a couple of weeks once we do get to Lost City, but because we've been talking about the fact that, as of season 6 and you get to 7 and 8, each season they thought they were bowing out. So I like the idea that they've went and they've thrown all their money and they've done their big bang double episode finale of Lost City, and those of us that have seen it know what kind of episode it is, especially the finale. And that they all then stayed back and went, all right, let's put all of our heart and soul into Resurrection.
We're all super, super tired because we've been working crazy.
It's like
for
a
the
Friday afternoon at work.
Yeah,
your
Friday
boss,
drinks.
Your boss is like, oh, just one more job, and you're like, in hell.
Yeah. And then poor Amanda has been shooting Lost City while trying to prep directing for the first time. I was reading, poor thing, she had 3 days to prep, and then the rest of it she just had to prep on her own time on the weekends and stuff like that. And I was like, she did a friggin' amazing job with A, with what she had, and B, with what time she had.
There's a funny bit in one of the special features for Lost City. It's not a spoiler, but Martin Wood goes, Amanda Tapping's going to be directing her episode, and she has to do the prep in her own time. And if I did that, I wouldn't have a job because it'd be terrible. I was like, oh, shit. That's a burn. But he's trying to be kind to her. I'm like, that doesn't work, mate. Sweet burn.
But she had some really good stuff in this, from a director point of view, that massive opening one-er.
The crane shot.
was really, really good. The only downside to it was I think there was so much exposition and setup in that. I'm always too busy marveling at what an amazing shot that is to actually be paying attention to the exposition that's going on.
I think she does as well, because you can tell she didn't want to be in that scene originally. So her acting is kind of like, all right, everyone get to their spots. You can see she's kind of phoning in the acting.
Yeah.
And everything else is going around.
What shot
Great
was
shot.
that?
The very first shot where the
starts
N.I.D.
on a guy
agent
on the
comes
roof.
up. It kind of crane shots down. They get off the platform, follow SG-1. Carter and that get out. They go to the entrance of the warehouse, and then there's that Agent Barrett. He does his best LA detective.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
that
know
like
what
that
happened.
the big
Bold and
walking
beautiful
tour.
acting where
Yeah.
he's looking
He's not
the
looking
top
at me.
left or top right of the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you looking at? I know as a camera I can't see behind me. But
There's
what
an
are you
airplane
looking
up there.
so intently? He's like, things got real crazy.
Right, I didn't realise that was a whole one shot.
Yeah,
and
so
they went
basically
into the warehouse.
that whole opening into the warehouse.
And
They
then
saw the
into
bodies.
Yeah, so the first
He's
cut.
like, we know who did this.
The
Come
ring
with
girl.
me.
Yeah, the first cut is when
Yeah.
they cut to Anna. But
Yeah,
that whole
right.
thing
Yeah.
before that is a one-er. And then she does some other really cool stuff where, like, there's that shot where, like, it's almost like we're inside the cage and it's all black. And it's like Daniel Jackson just kind of emerges from the blackness. I found a really, really cool shot because you
Yeah.
don't really see a lot of pitch black on TV. There's always, like, TV black, not black. So I thought that was really
Jesus,
cool.
Matty.
Come on now.
I mean, it's early in the morning
Come
for this
on.
shit. We're not 5 minutes in, Matty.
and then
three
and
drinks in.
and then there's another
Very
shot.
diverse cast, might I say, in this episode.
God. And then there's another shot where, like, Daniel is talking to Anna, like, through the cage, and they're playing with the reflections. So it's like when you're on Daniel, you can see Anna's reflection in the background and vice
Yeah,
versa.
that was cool.
So there's really, really cool shots.
The only
like
way
that
they could
that
get a
Amanda
reflection
does.
of her, though, is to put a candle in the fucking cage. Bloody hell, Daniel.
How?
I'm going to burn myself. No! Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Like, okay, stand back. Don't try and escape. I'm just going to put this
Yeah.
candle in there.
And, like, they're all going to put this lit candle in here because they're not going to trust you with matches or a lighter.
Yeah.
So we're going to put this lit candle in.
What could happen?
Yeah.
But if things go on fire, like Shanksy, the fucking fire hydrant or whatever it is behind him, extinguisher,
Yeah.
and he yells at someone from 2 rooms away to come and grab it. Quick, come! I can't let go
Fire,
of this cell
fire.
for some reason. Come and get it.
I'm emotionally invested. Someone else save her.
And then it turns out they have to open the door to put out the fire, where all around the top of the cell is just completely open.
Even
Yeah.
the corners are just mesh. You could just spray it through.
Yeah, but
That
no,
annoyed me.
got to
Just
open it.
have the candle on the outside. It's plexiglass.
You can still see it.
Yeah.
But you got to feel.
Oh, you gotta feel the heat. Yeah, God, yeah.
God, yeah.
Meditation.
Feel the heat of my sizzling meat.
So resurrection.
Hang on, I love how all those pictures burnt up. That was a massive fire in there.
Yeah.
It looked like Australia
Yeah, I-
inside that cell. And then Shanksy comes out with a whole pad full of f***ing drawings still.
Yeah, that whole
Oh,
book.
here's the combination.
Here's the combination.
Oh, it was a bit seared, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all the paper she's given and drawn is like pre-soaked in kerosene.
Oh my god, so quick. And like, was he
Daniel,
hoping,
you wearing aftershave?
The charcoal.
was
Been
he
soaked in kerosene.
was he hoping to sell that artwork? Because he got really upset when she started. Like, it's not worth anything, man. Like, she's an illegal clone. Like, no one. She's
My
not like
stepson would love that piece. He's Narcissus too.
This is Narcissus art.
So resurrection, was that supposed to be the Goa'uld Sekhmet who got resurrected?
I guess. Which until I watched this episode the other day, like my entire like Stargate life, I always thought that was Seth. I always
Yeah.
thought
Yeah, me
they
too.
somehow had
That's what I was like, oh, aka She-Seth.
yeah, and I was like, oh wait, what? So there was a not only has
Sethina.
Seth been trapped,
Sethina.
not only has Seth been trapped on
Shethina.
Earth, but Osiris and Isis were in canopic jars, and then we found out this Sekhmet was in a canopic jar as well. But yeah, for some reason, I guess because I never really pay attention to this episode, it's sort of one of the ones that I skip quite often. I forgot. I always thought it was with the leftovers of Seth when he got pounded into the ground by Carter and the hand device. I thought
Yeah,
he did.
they'd taken some of his symbiote juices or whatever and made Anna out of it.
Oh, good.
But no, it's a whole different Goa'uld. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get the whole science behind that. So how did that start?
So
I get that I saw the clone babies, but what made her a Harcesis?
well, and that's the weird thing.
She wasn't Harcesis.
when she wasn't a clone.
Artificial Harcesis.
She wasn't a
Yeah.
clone either. They had that whole red herring about it being a clone, and then you got to really sort of be like, I had to turn the subtitles on and really kind of like laser focus into all the exposition that was going on.
No point.
But basically, they got
Thanks,
a
Shanksy.
human egg and fertilized it with Goa'uld DNA, and then like used brief candle technology to make them grow up really fast. So all those little fetuses and stuff
Where'd they get Goa'uld? Oh,
was Sekhmet. They found in the same way that they found
So
a
they found
canopic
the
jar.
canopic jar.
Canopic jar.
Canopic jar.
Yeah. But Sekhmet was dead
right.
inside. So like
Okay.
remember with
We all are, mate.
with the
inject me into something.
So yeah, it did seem a long way to go, and yeah, to introduce a whole nother like Goa'uld symbiote in Sekhmet, when we had Isis and we had Seth that they could have been.
Yeah, I'm sure they're in
with.
Area 51 too.
Yeah,
where they got the nanites from.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So yeah, it just seemed a long way around to.
And it's like, remember
Not really have
season
much to
1 or
do.
2 where we had these nanites that made O'Neill old?
Yeah,
That's here. That's in
do
this one.
something with this. It's like
What are you
Shanks.
using? No, stop. We've moved on. Just know that's the thing.
No,
That's
yeah,
the-
this is
And then-
nerdy science.
and then
behind
like, and Anna could be like 18 months old. She could be like 3 years old. We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like,
She's had one
really?
birthday.
Give us...
Shanks is just like, let's get one episode from every season and put it all together in one shit episode.
It's not a bad one to listen to the audio commentary because
Yeah, Amanda's on this one.
yeah,
which
and
is good.
She does a lot of it because it's her debut as director, so it was kind of like
That's a shame.
it's nice enough for her to kind of she could have got Shanksy, but Shanksy wasn't bothered either to go on the audio commentary.
Yeah,
But it's kind of
Everything
like-
he had to say was in the script.
I just
he
would
did his-
rather listen to the commentary and I'm like, yeah, I know
Yeah.
this episode.
He
I
did
don't
his
need to
one for the
really
season already at the
listen to
start.
the
He did
dialogue.
Well, he did two at the start. He did Fallen and Homecoming at the start of the season, so that was it. He was like, "I've done one commentary. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm
Can
done."
I do an English accent on the commentary?
That was
No.
boring.
Well, no.
No one can see my beautiful face.
So who is on the commentary?
It's Amanda Tapping and
Is it Warring? No.
yeah,
Was
I
it?
think so. I can't remember one of the nobodies, one of the little
Yeah.
people, one of the little people.
One of the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You won an award, no one's going to listen to your speech kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's the one that does the award doesn't even get televised. He wins one of those.
During the ad break.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see me, Mum? No.
I always forget about the arc too, like the bomb in the box.
Yeah, they were so keen to get that open.
right. Isn't it lucky that out of
yeah.
that entire
Could be treasure in there.
well, that entire room of artifacts, and the one thing they focus on happens to be the bomb that Anna has, like,
He's like, "Look, these
activated
spin,
while they
they
were
spin."
there. Like, ooh, they spin.
Look, I'm an Egyptian DJ.
Yeah, but because I always remembered that because they opened the arc, that set the bomb timer off. But I was confusing that with Dr. Lee making it go faster. So I was like,
yeah.
oh, okay. So kind
So
of
what-
lucky in a way that they stumbled across it.
So when she set the bomb, why did she set it for so many hours in the future?
Because
So they're gonna have a plot.
I guess.
yeah, for plot.
Like, what is she trying to blow up?
Yeah, why did you make it 3 seconds?
Hopefully someone calls 911 and hopefully some government agents come here and hopefully I blow them up.
And hopefully ultimately
Oh,
take
that's
control
true.
of the body before then
I-
so that I can actually turn off because I don't want to die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Maybe that's the only reason.
I think there was a
You could think
line.
of.
There is a line where they say Sekhmet was going to use it as leverage for her freedom.
Yeah.
She'd set the bomb and she was going to like bribe him and be like, "If you don't let me free, you're all going to die."
Mm.
Yeah,
But she drew it
But
instead.
Yeah. That
Burn
was
the
so-
only evidence.
That was so shit when that happened. Oh, here's the code to stop it, and then walks away. I'm like, that was shit. These poor bastards been working 10 hours on
And the
this.
thing is, too, because surely that would be Daniel Jackson's wet dream. Like, there's some Egyptian plans, there's an Egyptian arc.
yeah.
I want to be the one to open it because that's his bag.
Yeah, but there's also a semi-alien woman in trouble. So, of course,
Yeah.
Daniel's going to go that way.
Wants to get his end wet.
Right, it's been how many seasons now?
Yeah, he was
See?
working hard on
Yeah.
that. Look, let's meditate together, you know,
Yeah.
we'll bond.
Let's kill Noreen.
Here's a candle and shit, like, you know.
My son was just like you.
That's why he's so upset when she was going to burn herself alive, because he's like, no, I worked so hard on you.
I don't
God
want-
damn it.
I don't want to burn victim.
Michael, I'm just going through the script. I can't seem to get a real good read on how old she is. You're kind of suggesting she's one, but no, I don't want to go into it because I really want Daniel to maybe have a chance of screwing it. And the fact that she's one, I want to remain pretty ambiguous because otherwise it seems creepy.
Well, I mean, that's why he brought up the brief can on nanites, because it's like, well, Jack banged Cynthia, who was, you know, all of
4 days.
Yeah, 4 days old or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, 18 months. That's way better than 4 days.
I think she was 33 days or something.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
she was in
yeah.
her 30s.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. I
She's
did.
had one birthday.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that she remembers. That was the weirdest part. Is you go, okay, I'd buy if they said, okay, she's had one birthday, so she's on her way to being 2. But then Carter later on goes, oh, she couldn't be any older than 3, and I'm like, Didn't we already establish how old she was?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
throw
yeah.
that extra line in later on? Like, you could say the program's been going for 3 years, and they said, like, she was the 46th or 47th attempt, so it's like, you could buy that, okay, they spent the first year or
Didn't
whatever.
Carter say she would last another 3 years?
No, I thought it was the program is no longer than 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, she was talking about how long would she last if they took the DNA, the Goa'uld DNA out.
Oh, yeah.
She said it couldn't be
She's
more
a
than
time
3
bomb.
years.
That's why he
Yeah.
put that bomb poison at the
vial.
bottom
Yeah,
of
little
her
vial in the base of her neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that at the very, very start, like
Complex, man.
they have that they
Great
have
writing.
that they have that remote, and that creepy, sinister, evil Kefler guy is like, oh yeah, that unlocks my car, and Barrett just buys that, and Carter buys that as well. They're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's totally for the Hyundai that's parked out the back.
That's a remote.
That's
for-
fine.
Just
Joke's
got
on
Apple
you, man.
TV. It's not out for another
You've got
20 years.
So many parking tickets out there, man. You have no idea. You wouldn't even want to leave this place. Yeah, when he came up, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Stellan Skarsgård. I'm like, no. It's early 2000s sci-fi TV Stellan Skarsgård, so that's
Yeah.
fine. Although he was, like, creep factor was really dialed up, and I think, like, such a simple little trick when you've got someone like that, a bad guy, to keep him in handcuffs, even though he's under guard and he's sitting at a table, you know, quite clearly not in control, to keep him in handcuffs and make him smoke so that he's got to have his hands tied together and then have him just smoke with his hands in front of his face. And just like, I'm like, there's something about that just seems so creepy. I don't know, so
Yeah.
weird. It's like, that just doesn't look right. That makes you evil, obviously. And then he just sits there and just spits out all those stupid
Yeah.
lines. So
What was the whole f***ing heart tablet thing too?
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing. They
It's
set
just so
that
he could
up.
stick his tongue out. Yeah.
Well, no, it's like we went all that way
Clarice.
just so that right at the end when he escaped, he could bluff the guard into
The
being
tiny,
like,
skinny
"Oh
guard.
yeah, I need my pills. I need a drink of water." You don't need to be sick to need a drink of water if you've been sitting there for like a day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seemed like a long way
Yeah,
to
that
go.
was
Oh, you could tell that actor was an ex-smoker too, because he lit the cigarette. It was a 3-minute scene. He only took half a drag. I'm like, have you ever seen a smoker lit a cigarette and leave it for 3 minutes?
Not when
Just
they're
to
in the
look
room.
ominous?
Yeah, they do that when they're sitting out on the balcony on their own, just lost in their own thoughts.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
never happens.
They took 15 takes though, so it's half a packet.
They just wanted the ominous smoke just to make him look evil.
look, I know-
in the shot.
Rhys
It's
mentioned
in the
before,
script, man.
Australia's on fire at the moment. I on like Christmas holidays, like we're in 2 states away from where I went on holidays, and I was crossing a state border. Like, that's where it's getting really bad. You know, where New South Wales and Victoria, like some shit's going on, and the smoker got out there. That was our like stop to get lunch. With the kids, so we have to get all the kids out, and the smoke is so thick, and like it was awful to breathe. Your eyes are stinging and stuff to get out. And then I see these 2 women that have like come out of like working at like the bakery or something. They're sitting on like a park bench or a bus stop or something on the side of the road, having a smoke. And I'm like,
God.
how desperate do you have to be to get poisonous gas into your lungs? You're literally not too far away from the most dangerous air on the planet currently, and you're sucking on a couple of cigarettes. It's like, what
This
the
is
hell?
my dream.
Like, you would go really well on a sci-fi from the early 2000s. You'd look so evil and stuff.
I need a puff of cigarette in between breathing in hazardous fucking air.
Oh my God, I got some fresh air.
Oh,
I thought we were going to get some more like German tie-ins and stuff there. Like when they mentioned that the evil doctor guy was the son of a Nazi war
oh yeah,
criminal and
Stargate
shit.
Origins, Anna.
God,
Yeah, basically, I thought we were going to get some ties. I'm like, oh shit, there's going to be more history there.
More
that
Batman spins.
Oh yeah, you know.
Let's
Right.
not go there, guys.
Yeah, even Amanda Tapping's first time directing, she knows not to do that.
Sure.
Yeah, I fully expected him to have a German accent, and I thought he did at the start, but then it just turned out that he was f***ing weird.
Super weird. He plays a couple
My
of super
45th clone.
super weird aliens on a really good
Yeah,
sci-fi
that's one.
franchise. Voyager season 3, episode 10, Warlord.
Oh yeah.
DS9 season
That's
6, episode
fine.
12. Who
Yeah,
Wants
keep
for
going,
More?
buddy.
Yeah, okay, going.
That's
So-
the one I had.
They were like persistence though for the Rogue N.I.D. group, because like you said, if the program's been going a couple of years and this Anna is the 46th, like
Yeah.
I mean obviously they haven't all matured to her age and success, but I mean how many do you have to pump out after a couple of years
I
before
know.
you know what, this probably isn't working out. Like, does that doctor get to 40 failed attempts of his work? Go,
Yeah.
nah, we are so close to cracking this human Goa'uld hybrid thing that's never existed before. It's
And
like,
you
yeah,
could
no, keep
assume
going.
like at least 3/4 of them would have died naturally.
Yes.
Imagine the last 5 that were really close.
Yeah.
What did he do with those things?
Yeah.
Well, they're all sitting
just
in those
kind of like-
tubes.
I think we all know what he did.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Although
"Ugh."
I feel like
Hit it with a hammer.
He killed the rest of those scientists because they knew what he did.
We've seen the tapes, Doctor.
God damn it.
There's so many VHSs right here.
They're all
Outta here.
labelled Anna.
I feel like Barrett was really out of his own depth too when they actually pulled out that drawer and all those like fetuses were there because he says this.
They look like partially developed fetuses.
They don't look human to me.
Now, I'm no exobiologist, but those props looked pretty damn human to me.
Pretty human.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
He's never seen a baby before.
They've literally just grabbed a baby doll from Kmart and thrown it in a little water tank. Like, that was, they don't look human. I'm like,
Human.
okay.
It's kind of plastic.
Yeah.
Clearly you're not an uncle. Okay, we've covered this. You've never seen a small human before. I think he was out of his depth in a lot of this episode. You know, like I know that he joked to Carter and said, "Hey, come with me. I'm going to go talk to Dr. Evil again." And and he's like, "Oh, I just thought you'd like to see a master interrogator at work." And she's like, "Oh, you're so cute, but we'll see." Because obviously you
yeah,
must
she's
be
like, "Oh,
good.
you invite someone?"
And he gets there and he's like, "Tell me what you know." And the guy's like, "No, give me my pills." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Damn it!
And then
All right, here you
Nothing
go.
else."
and then the flip side to that is she's sitting there trying to crack his computer and he goes, "Oh, we've got a specialist team on their way in, like specialist code breakers." She's like, "President accounted for." And then, you know,
Yeah.
30 seconds later, she's like, "And I'm in."
Yeah.
Because I'm Carter.
Oh, when she
Yeah.
started walking over that computer, he's like, "No, Carter, no." I'm like, "Whoa, what's going to go on here?" And then nothing. She's just on the computer. I'm
Oh,
like,
got it, mate.
Barrett's been watching the
overreaction there.
doctor's tapes. That's the problem.
Yeah.
She's like, don't open that. Don't open the file.
We tried. The password isn't Anna.
Oh, whoopsie.
Or Anna 1.
Yeah, it's Anna 69.
Yeah, that whole interrogation. That whole interrogation thing, yeah, that pissed me off because I was like, all he did was go in there and just be an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
And like, okay, we get it. He's a bad guy, but you're trying to get something out of him. You don't be a dickhead to him. Where's my pills? And then just chucks it on the table. I'm like, well, I thought you were supposed to be a good guy. Like, why are you giving off this impression that you're a dickhead?
Yeah.
What made me laugh is that Barrett's outside next to a BMW trying to open it, but he's killing the girl in the in the tank.
What's wrong with
Stupid car.
Well, in that one shot at the start, when they're talking about the dead N.I.D. agents, and
Yeah.
they came across the front of the building, and there's a guy lying in the gurney getting zipped up. He's
Yeah.
dead. Was that Siler?
No.
No, it was
Wasn't it?
someone
It
on the
looked
like
production,
him.
though. Like in the commentary, they say, "Oh, it's such and such who was like a production."
Yeah, it's one of the
person
camera
or something
guys, I
like that.
think.
Yeah,
Looked like him.
it did actually, didn't it?
Yeah,
It's his dad.
What I noticed from that opening shot is if you listen right at the start, you can hear a helicopter passing over, and I'm pretty sure it's the exact same sound effect from the DVD main menu when they have like the alpha site with the helicopter. Pretty sure it's the exact same sound effect that they've played.
I've woken up to that sound effect playing on loop so
Yes,
many
me
times.
too. Yes.
Me, it's the Jeep starting up.
Yeah. Yeah, that wakes you up.
That's really getting annoying. Mute. What a shit episode.
I've got a couple.
Like,
of
I mean,
I
I've said it
like
before and
the-
I'll say it again. Off-base Earthbound eps are boring.
Yeah.
Like I kind of, if it carried on to something else and they grew it from here, I think it'd be pretty cool. But the fact that it was completely wrapped up at the end and it was, I mean, this is such big stakes, and you know, artificial heart ceases, and they've literally created a Goa'uld in a lab. I'm like, this is massive, and then they've just wrapped it up at the end of 40 minutes, and I'm like, okay, that's shit.
Yeah, and in such a strong season as well. Like I know, Michael Shanks has talked about how much he loved coming back for season 7 because so much of the first half of the season was standalones, like Lifeboat and Revisions and all those kind of shows, which were really enjoyable. So I think he's almost tried to emulate that by doing this as a standalone, but it just pales in comparison to the other stuff that we've had in this season. And I've been saying it all season. Like there's 2 episodes this season that are pretty shit, and this is the first one. And next week doesn't get much better, but we'll talk about that next week.
Thought Lifeboat was down there. Anyway, yeah, because there was so many possibilities. Like when they showed her, I'm like, holy shit, is that a Goa'uld? Is it an ancient? Is it a replicator? Like in a clear box like that, it's like Magneto or some shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what could it be? No, it's just a girl that's been alive for a year in a lab.
Yeah, and the fact that we can now, like, even taking the Goa'uld DNA out of her means we can just make people super, super quick now. That's standard technology on Earth, and it's like it's never revisited again.
Right.
Like we've cracked the brief candle technology.
Yeah, right.
We can do all that, but yeah, we never
use
go
it.
back, which is a shame. Oh, I did have that when we were talking before about sort of Daniel creeping on Anna a bit. I think it was just his one-line delivery is what really sold it for me about how creepy he was being.
Yeah, what about that girl?
Yeah, what about that girl?
Well, I think actually directly after that line, or in that same scene, I think if you just take this line out of context, it sounds really creepy too.
Oh, we never take stuff out of context here. Far
No,
away.
I know. Generally, we're pretty mature about this sort of thing.
She hasn't said anything since we locked her up. I was kind of hoping that you'd give it a try. Me? Heard you got a knack for this type of thing.
I don't know. It's just something I think I was like doing other things because this episode didn't
buddy.
hold my attention, but it was just like, hey, she hasn't said anything since we locked her up. Do you want to go and have a crack? I hear you're pretty good at
You
this
got
sort
a
of
knack.
thing.
Pretty good. Got a knack with alien women.
Daniel's like, what? You get an alien that needs to have sex? Ooh.
Yeah, you need an alien. You need to
Hold my
open up.
herbal tea.
I don't get why he was so surprised when Barrett asked
Barrett.
him that. He's like, me? I'm like, who else? You're literally the guy to do it.
What, we're going to
'cause
send
he's
Teal'c
always-
in there?
Yeah. Tell me.
He's trying to be humble, mate.
I love it too. He's a fucking idiot. I love it how he goes in with that combination and he's like telling Teal'c all about it, and Teal'c's just waiting there, and then straight away Teal'c's like Daniel's showing him the picture, and Teal'c's like, all right, well, I'll do it. Just jumps in straight away. Let's open it.
Yeah.
No mucking around.
That was the weird thing too. It was like Carter says, "Oh, Dr. Lee's he's our best guy for this." I'm like, since when is Dr. Lee the best guy for Goa'uld bombs?
Did you say that, or did you say he's the best we've got?
Best we've got.
No,
Yeah.
Which I
he's the
feel was
best.
like a backhanded compliment. He's like, he's the best we've got.
He was the only
But
one willing
why?
to come in on a Saturday, all right?
Yeah, because everyone else is finished for the season, so that's all I've got.
Bill needs some cash for Christmas.
He needs another credit on his resume.
Apparently, Shanksy was giving Amanda a tough time for a directorial debut as well. So there were little things she noticed that she's like, God damn it.
Wouldn't come out of his trailer.
This is just a little crazy aside for me, but there was all these black videotape boxes and maybe 4 or 5 blue ones, and he picked up
Sounds
a
like
blue
blue.
one. And nowhere in the scene can you see a blue videotape box, even though there were some there. And I should have just said, Michael, pick up a black one, but he picked up blue.
Oh, God.
She knew he'd,
What?
she knew he'd have a
idiot.
hissy fit. He picked up the blue one to bounce his eyes.
He'd have a hissy.
Racist prick. Unbelievable.
So, was it a continuity issue that she was worried about?
Yeah, because you're saying the when he's sitting there watching the tapes, behind him it's all
It's all black.
not blue videotapes.
Matty, don't
He's
say
like,
blue, mate.
"Ooh, blue. I know what that means.
And then
Anna.
there's only about 4 blue tapes, and he just happened to pick
Blue
up one of the
movies.
blue ones,
Blue movies,
hold it
yeah.
in his hand.
It's a blue movie. So I noticed Anna pressed the remote to activate the poison at the base of her brainstem. And then there's that shot where Daniel catches her and she dies, and then the camera kind of pulls away at the end of the scene.
That was cool.
Did Daniel, I don't know, squeeze her tit then?
Yeah.
Did you
Oh,
think?
okay, I wasn't looking that closely.
Because I kind of felt like he did.
Why wouldn't he?
It was dark.
Grab that guy's dick, dude.
Yeah, because he's
Oh my god.
not selective.
Honk.
Just the tip, though.
He honked it. He actually said honk, dude.
How's that big hog of yours, mate?
Hello.
That big dead dong of yours.
Hello, I am a German sausage. Oh.
Literally, he's just like wondering how big his dick is, so he just undoes his pants. Oh, Jesus. Zips it back up.
He didn't bother. He just left it there. This guy done with his dick out. Yeah, man. It got hectic here.
This guy had his dick out when he died. No, I just grabbed it out after
And the coroner's like, oh, he's German, so I guess.
Barrett, you thought it got,
titties too.
Barrett thought it got messy when there were 32 people dead. You should see that shit down there now. That was a sex dungeon.
Sex dungeon, what were they doing? Oh, nothing. They were dead when I got there, but after that.
That was so clean and clothed. Right now, oh,
Hey, it's on tape.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Beautiful.
That
Beautiful.
That just happened.
That worked.
That
I'm
happened.
happy with that.
That just
That was
happened.
great. That made the episode, I think.
Now you were
Look forward to
saying, Maddie, about watching this with subtitles at least, just to try and get some kind
Just
of
to
idea of what
catch all the
friggin'
exposition.
hell they were
yeah.
talking about. I had it on as well, and at the end, before she hit the switch for the poison thing at the base of her skull, and there was a gun involved there, and the caption read "machine gun fire," and I'm like, holy shit, where's a machine gun come into it? Because I'm pretty sure whoever was down there only had a handgun.
Yeah.
But it cuts to Daniel, and the caption reads, "Machine gun fire." Daniel's like, "Ah, no!" Runs down the ladder, and the doctor, as we see when they pan out, is dead, and Anna is dying because she's sacrificed herself. And I'm like, where the,
I don't know. I feel like I remember her like this.
Yeah, she definitely had a machine gun.
did she?
Yeah, because
It was a off one. So I'm like, where did she get that?
I thought she had a handgun too.
Because Dr. Kefler took the handgun from the guard that was guarding him. But yeah, it's never established where she got that from.
Oh,
Because
so maybe that was, I got Scott
weren't
lost
all the
thinking the only gun
security
in the room
detail
was,
dead?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Yeah, it had a
been-
scope
Oh.
on it and everything. Like,
didn't
it was,
they?
I mean, you
think-
have the
full
episode
Black Ops.
right next to you. But
again.
It's on my
don't.
phone.
I
You
I
don't
have
understand.
to turn left.
Yeah. I think the insinuation is, remember, because Daniel calls, when everything's on fire, he calls those two guys, and one of them, well, both of them, I assume, have the machine gun or whatever.
Right.
And I think the assumption is that she took it from one of
right.
those guys and went hunting for Kefler.
Oh yeah.
And meanwhile, he was taking the handgun from.
Good old Kevlar.
We've all been
Yeah.
hunting for Kefler before.
Oh, did you say Keflar?
Kefler?
Yeah.
Kefler?
I
Wouldn't have said that.
What's
Why is
Kefler?
that? Bile get angry.
Yeah, Bobby's
Yeah. Yeah, shame. I just think she carried herself well when she did make that transition in the videotape to being the Goa'uld. I thought she had that real Goa'uld presence that a lot of other actors so far in the last
Yeah.
7 seasons have done. And for her to it's just like it's a side. Obviously, when they shoot it, you're shooting it and it's a performance regardless. But we only see it on like this grainy VHS tape in the corner of the shot anyway. But
And
I
to
thought
do it-
if she had more room to breathe, another episode or two, or had have played this character in a different type of story, she could have had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, and to be able to do it without a flanged voice as well. Like, because a lot of the time, Tok'ra and Goa'uld, that you rely on that flanged voice for them to feel intimidating,
Yeah.
whereas she was able to do it without that. So yeah, it would have been nice if it was almost like a return of the Curse, where she got away at the end. It would have been nice for her to be like a recurring character, next season or something like that.
Yeah, 'cause one of the things
that
that-
got away.
One of the things that pisses me off the most about Goa'uld and Tok'ra is that they have to do the whole put your head down and close your eyes before you change into your other self. Whereas she did it seamlessly. Didn't have to lower her head, didn't have to do anything, but there's just this overwhelming calmness that come over it.
Yeah, and
she just took
just
charge.
Her
Shoulders
posture
come up.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she takes like a power pose. Yeah,
was
that was
excellent.
really good.
It's time for the Get Into Geek Hairy Mailbag.
I got a tweet. I got tagged in a tweet the other day from Sarah Kehoe, long-time listener at FatNerdFit. She says, I'm turning into high-pitched Maddie. I'm watching #Star Trek and just keep thinking they did that on Stargate. I can't unsee it now.
Ugh.
That's two.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, let me finish the tweet, because there's a tweet chain. Because then Heather Cowlich.
Oh, can't wait. So was Get Into Geek tagged in this, or
Uh,
just out of curiosity?
Well, hashtag Stargate. She did
That's
hashtag
not-
Stargate.
Welcome to the high pitch
She
Maddie
has said
mailbag.
Stargate.
Star Trek. Careful, Matty. You've only got one left.
Well, I just want to give a shout. You know, they made the effort, so I want to give them a shout out.
we?
Heather says, "I love the original Star Trek. Bones is my
Oh,
favorite."
Jesus, mate.
And of course, SG-1. Hence, I'm totally with the adorable high pitch Maddie.
No, is this
Frickin'
all you
love-
search for in Twitter?
Well, it's Twitter. They
adorable
tagged me.
hashtag high pitch Maddie.
Oh, you know how
They've
much you like
tagged
Twitter.
at high pitch Maddie. You can see it. And then she says, "Frickin' love
Did
the
you
podcast."
add the adorable bit?
Frickin' love the podcast. The whole podcast. And-
Sarah Kehoe also doing her own podcast with Goa'uld.
Oh, nice.
Some of the Stargate Universe.
Universe,
She's a first
yeah.
time listener.
Oh, brilliant.
Done season 1. Haven't seen
First time
season
watcher.
2 yet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Would it be?
And just the last part of that chain was Jane Krause jumped in and said, "Fun fact: she's just moved to Australia, to Canberra.
Oh.
A couple of local boys here, and actually lives on Goa'uld Street. So she's moved all the way to
Get
Australia and lives on
Goa'uld
Goa'uld Street.
That's like, it's about 20-minute drive from where we used to live.
God, yeah. On Hutuck Lane.
So thank you, ladies, much appreciated.
Matthew Jake Hubbard has got in contact with us. I believe this might be Facebook. Massively huge fan guy. I never knew I needed you guys until my missus got me to listen. Now every day, no matter where I'm driving, you guys are on. Still catching up on Ep 134 after 2 months of listening. Now 70 ahead of my partner.
Jesus.
Nothing like looking crazy, pissing yourself laughing while driving in country SA. I'm going to say South Australia, not South Africa.
Don't
God, yeah.
assume.
Don't assume that.
Congratulations, Rhys, me, on the Bubba and the marriage. Thanks,
Yes.
mate. Keep up the great work, guys. Thanks, Matty.
Congratulations,
Hubbo. Hubby.
The
Is that-
Hubster. Hubby.
When he says "keep up the great work, guys," is that us or is that Rhys and
That's
Ash?
Rhys.
Yeah.
Just keeping up the great work at
Slaying
home.
it in
you
the
know,
bedroom.
well,
just going to pound
Well,
town.
let me tell you.
well, I'm not Daniel Jackson, but
I get the job done, if you know what I mean.
I before A, except after K, commented on one of our YouTube videos. Jump onto YouTube. We got episodes on there.
Great
if you
people.
like them. Episode 14, Singularity. Oh, Cassandra episode. I before A, except after K says, I have a friend who I'm slowly getting into Stargate, much like you are with Rhys. I've mentioned to him that I listened to your podcast, and then I told him how much you guys hated Cassandra. His response was essentially, what the hell is wrong with you? he actually almost cried during this episode.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Jesus.
Here we are, Rhys, talking about how she should have died.
Absolutely.
Great
She should have.
episode.
I think we went into so much detail about how she could have and should have died.
See, almost cried during this episode. If she had have died, it would have brought out more emotion.
Yeah, for
Making
sure.
people cry. That's what we're all about.
We don't want to tease it. We want to bring it out. Come on.
Yeah, do it. Even just cut fade to black. Like, don't show
Yeah.
that she blows up.
Yeah.
Just know that she's dead.
Fade to black and hear the explosion.
But it's black.
Just for closure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a 5-star Apple podcast review here by Sabi. Awesome
There you go.
Stargate podcast. 10 out of 10 hard.
Oh, yes.
An all-round funny podcast covering all things Stargate. There's nothing better than watching an episode of Stargate than listening to these boys and their sometime insightful, offbeat, and adorably offensive views of the show. So good, it makes me want to take a dump through the wormhole.
So it's all right. It's all right for you to say adorable, but not me.
Baby,
Okay, I see
baby.
now.
Well, he's not talking about
I'm not talking
himself.
about me. Adorably Brendan's offensive views.
I'm adorable. You're offensive, obviously.
Adorably offensive.
That's the way we like it.
Thanks, Sabi.
Sabes.
Canadian.
That's it,
Sabi,
yeah. No, Australia.
Yeah?
Australia.
Australia,
Yeah.
eh?
Down
Assume?
under.
It's time to find out if Rhys has been paying attention.
All right, 5 questions here for you, Rhys, the new guy.
Yeah, right.
If you're the first-time listener, we'd give this guy, Rhys, who we call the newbie, 5 questions every
Yeah,
It's
week.
a
guys.
bit weird calling Rhys a newbie, but
But he is, mate.
technically, yeah.
Still for another couple of seasons, I guess.
Well, you know, in a couple of weeks, there'll be 2 newbies.
He has 30 seconds to answer all 5 of these questions that I've written last night when I was drunk. So let me just.
I'm surprised you've
Go
written them.
through
To be
Yeah.
honest.
I was going to say, normally you write them on the
It's a lot of
day.
scribbles.
Oh, Jesus, how are you going to read that?
Have you pre-read them? Do they make sense?
I haven't pre-read them.
Let's find out.
He barely read them when he wrote them.
Your time starts after this.
Yeah.
Who wrote and directed Resurrection?
Shanks and tapping.
Correct. Daniel tried to help the girl in the glass cage. What was her name?
Anna.
Correct. What medium was the security footage stored on?
VHS.
Correct. What was the name of the main N.I.D. agent?
Barrett.
Correct.
Oh, here
What
we
was
go.
special about the girl in the cage?
What was special about it?
Yeah.
Subjective, but all right. Here we go.
Oh, God, it could be anything.
She could take a whole...
Artificial arcesis. Grown from nothing. And the... Now
Oh, jeez.
God, what's the answer
So close.
that you
She
got?
was only one.
You piece of shit. That is so... I literally listed everything. Everything that could... Oh, she's only one.
and if you said...
That's interesting. What was the interesting thing?
And if you'd included that, the answer would have been, she's a redhead, mate. She's a ginger.
That's got to be written down.
Oh, and
Fuckhead.
what at least our Twitter poll tells us 72% of our audience like to hear.
Rhys, your father made you wrong!
Absolutely, they do.
You stupid son of a bitch.
It should probably be more than 72% because, as Rhys, we put up a poll during the week. It said, what would you like to hear out of the two options of your father making you wrong or the other one, which we don't hear that often. And Rhys wrote and said, screw everyone that voted for my father making me wrong. Holly Corbett hits back, goes, I'm really sorry, I accidentally hit I want to be your friend. And she meant to do the other one. So honesty is the best policy.
I mean, for everyone that voted that, go yourself.
Laurie Steinley says, an occasional friend is nice and kind of exciting. Just listening to Fifth Race podcast again, and I was legit shouting for joy when Rhys got all questions right. 5 out of 5.
You're making him feel really good when you bring up a season 2 episode.
Yeah.
And that was rigged anyway.
Because I never got 5 out of 5 before. We actually had to do it again. Recorded
No,
that
because I think
twice.
I was hungover and I fucked up the question, so we started again.
Oh, that doesn't sound like you.
Doesn't.
No, because you're like, should we just give him 5 out of 5 so he can play the one to be a friend?
5 for the Fifth Race. No, I mean, obviously.
No, that was the first
It was
time I got it,
legitimate.
yeah. That one was legitimate.
Yeah.
It was the other.
It was the other
It was
one.
the other one. Let's share it.
200 from 100. Did you get that one? I don't know.
I can't remember.
Go back and listen to them all and you
Yeah.
can tell us
You can,
which was the gimme of all gimmies. All right, that is episode 150 of Get Into Gate. We are back
Gates.
next week to talk another one of the great Stargate SG-1 episodes, Inauguration.
The best clip show SG-1's ever had.
Oh, cool.
Like
So
we've
good.
joked,
so.
we've joked about clip shows being politics 2.0. This,
Yeah.
like, legitimately
This is so
Politics
good.
is
3.0.
politics 2.0. Like, it couldn't be any
Politics
more.
1000.
So yeah, look, you know, for all that and plenty more real positive stuff that we can tease towards next week's
Can't
episode, join us for Inauguration, episode 20 of Stargate SG-1 Season 7. So we're going to do a double episode for Lost City, obviously. So this is our penultimate episode next week
Yes.
of Season 7 podcast.
Next week is the penultimate.
Yeah, I think I keep saying that right. I don't know.
No,
but I
you're
like
saying
the
it right. I'm just saying I like the... This isn't the penultimate.
No.
But we're saying next week is.
This is
the
pre-penultimate.
penultimate. Yeah.
Penultimate. Brendan's going to get the word penultimate in.
Penultimate?
Penultimate? Penultimate? Penultimate.
Now Mitch is going to f*** it from now on because you are dumb.
4 out of 5 ain't bad, mate. 4.5 out of 5 ain't bad, mate.
Until then, you can go back and check out our politics podcast and all our other clip show podcasts.
Please do. I need the numbers to go up on that one.
Yeah, Matty really wants to see those politics. They've got to get into triple figures at some stage. 'Cause
Matty can only listen to him so many times.
even he's sick of it. So 150 plus episodes of Get Into Gate. Just check out your favourite podcasting outlet. Hit us up on the socials, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or write into the show, getintogate@gmail.com.
And if
Do you want to be inaugurated into
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot that's what we do.
into the thing
And I
that we
know.
do?
Our enthusiasm might have died down a bit, but if you want to help with the resurrection, jump onto patreon.com/Get
Well
Into
done.
Geek.
I wondered why Mitch
Patreon.
paused, and I totally forgot we were supposed to do that.
We will see you back next week for episode 151 when we do talk about inauguration. Same bad time, same bad channel for Get Into Geek next week. Catch you then. Bye.
Bye.
Get Into Geek.